The 2022-2023 Utah State season begins tonight. Scott Gerard alongside Spencer Nelson as the Aggies welcome back a bevy of players as well as some new faces for what should be a fun showdown here today. Spencer, welcome to the broadcast, my friend. Let's go. Yeah. So Utah State squaring off against UVU tonight here in the Spectrum as the Aggies looking to break the huddle. Aggies in their all whites with blue trim, whereas Utah Valley comes in with the black uniforms with green and white trim. And we're ready to get this going. Again, starting lineups for Utah State: Sean Bairstow, Max Shulga, Rylan Jones, Taylor Funk, Trevin Dorius, Justin Harmon, Latrey Darthard, Tim Caesar, Trey Woodbury, who was a first-team all-WAC player for UVU 2 years ago, sat out most of the season last year due to a knee injury, but then came back and played the last 2 games in the WAC conference tournament. And then Aziz Bandago. A lot of people thought that you'd see Tim Fuller get the start, but Bandago's a guy that transferred from Akron, and they are really fired up about him. Yeah. By the way, Taylor Funk, in case you're just wondering, will be wearing number 1 tonight. A little bit of a jersey mix-up. He'll eventually be 23. They tried to find an old Nemish Keita jersey. Apparently, it's just a little too big for him. So he said, no, I'll just go number 1 and we'll call it good. So Trevin Dorius and Bandago come to midcourt. We're ready to get this thing started. And the 2022-2023 season is underway, controlled by Sean Bairstow. Aggies in their all whites, moving right to left. As here comes Rylan Jones, hands it to Funk, weaves it right back to Shulga. Shulga down low to Dorius, hands over to Rylan Jones, back to Dorius. Dorius in the left low paint. Decides to pull out and give back to Bairstow. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Bairstow comes around to Dorius' screen, still outside the three-point line. Driving, spins, loses the handle, collects, kicks it back over to Funk. Funk tries to drive, step back, leaves it cross court. Wide open is Bairstow. Bairstow drives, right hand floater, up, no good. And they'll have a call away on the drive, and that will go against UVU. First foul for Aziz Bandago. Averaged 3 points, 3 rebounds, blocked 40 shots last year. 20 on the shot clock. Inbound to Dorius. Dorius up to Funk. Funk loses the handle, still on court, and tipped out of bounds as Darthard says, oh, they say the ball goes off Utah State. Darthard sold it, and the officials go along with it. It'll be turnover Utah State, and the ball goes to UVU. See, now you're getting the hang of this radio thing. All Homer radio all the time. Trey Woodbury, tremendous player, started at UNLV before transferring to UVU. Hands to Bandago, trying to get it to Woodbury. Rylan Jones is on his pocket, rises from the elbow, shoots off the back of the iron, and Shulga pulls down the rebound. Shulga quickly in transition, gets to the right wing, leaves it for Funk, back to Shulga, pump fake the 3, loses the handle, has to recollect, and then kicks it to Jones on the left wing. 19 minutes left as we're 1 minute into this. Bairstow, like the matchup against Woodbury, gets into the paint and is fouled by Woodbury. Go up a little quicker with that, right? Rylan Jones will inbound. 20 seconds on the shot clock, leaves it up top to Funk. Funk pay fakes, then drives, and right-hand shot blocked away by Bandago. He blocked 40 shots last year. He gets his first one of the season here. Darthard swings it over to Justin Harmon. Harmon on the left wing, rotates right, trying to get it to Woodbury. He spots up, takes the shot, and nestles it home from the right elbow. Funk to Bairstow, cross court to Jones. Jones gets a screen, drives into the lane, looking to create some traffic, leaves it for Funk, drives, pump fake, floater, up and good. And Taylor Funk with the first bucket of the game for Utah State. 2-2 is our score, nearly 2 minutes into this game. Woodbury to Darthard. Darthard on the right wing. Swings it over to Caesar. Caesar then back to Woodbury on the left wing. Gives it back to Harmon. Harmon drives his floater, kisses off the glass but won't go. Bairstow comes away with it. Aggies want to run. Low pass to Jones. Jones then swings it cross court. Shulga's wide open. Get in there. Buries the three. Utah State up 5-2. Darthard swings it cross court, leaves it for Harmon. Harmon back to Caesar. Caesar up top to Bendago. He can shoot that, launches it, and hits it. Saw him in warm-ups. He can hit it from the outside. And he ties the game up at 5 apiece. How about the 7-footer from Senegal knocking down the straightaway three? Max Shulga gets a screen from Dorius. Leaves it for Dorius. Dorius puts the shot, tries to get over Bendago and can't get it to go. Altered the shot, didn't block it, but his height created problems for Dorius. And we're all tied up at 5 apiece. Here comes Woodbury, turnaround jumper, knocks it down. This kid's a flat-out scorer, isn't he? Rylan Jones crossing the timeline. Aggies trail 7-5. Taylor Funk lost the handle, knocked out of his hands. Woodbury deflects it away. Utah State's ball with 18 seconds on the shot clock, trailing Utah Valley 7-5. Shulga gets a nice screen from Dorius, gets into the lane, slings it back to Rylan Jones. Jones outside the three-point line, crossover dribble, in trouble, puts the shot off the glass, no good. Dorius skies in for the rebound, leaves it for Funk. Funk then back to Shulga, or Bairstow. Bairstow floats, and they're going to hit him with a shot clock violation. Did not reset the clock on the miss, and so it's 16-28. Here comes UVU with the ball. Arthur will come back to inbound it. Aggies with a little bit of pressure. Akin is going to come in. Dan Akin. He's going to check in for Dorius. 6'9", played at UMBC with this staff. Was actually the starting center on the UMBC team that beat Virginia in the NCAA tournament in the 16-1 matchup. Played last year at Cal Baptist. Long three, missed by UVU, tracked down by Rylan Jones. Aggies down by 2. Shulga to Funk. Funk leaves it down low. Reverse layup, up and good. Bairstow, acrobatic in the air, lays it up and in, and the Aggies tie the game up at 7 apiece. Trey Woodbury met at midcourt by Shulga. Leaves it for Caesar. Caesar then back to Harmon. Harmon gets in the lane. Harmon drives, attack, misses. The rebound, put back, missed, and the rebound finally grabbed by Woodbury. His shot off the glass, no good, and a foul is going to go against UVU on the drive. And that'll be number 2 on Woodbury. That brings us to our first timeout. Utah State leading UVU. Actually, we're all square, excuse me. 7-all, 15:46 left to go. First half action. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield.
First 10 minutes of the game. If he does, then you have to sit him for the entire, the rest of the first half and a good chunk of the second. So I think you're putting him on the bench, and it looks like that's probably going to happen.
What do you wait until maybe the under 8 to try to bring him back in?
I totally with you on there. Okay. Yep.
So the Aggies led in scoring across the board. Shulga's got the 3. Bairstow and Funk each with a bucket. Woodbury's got 4. For UVU, but this is a you can tell this is going to be a bit of a dogfight. Bendago's got the straightaway 3 that you never saw coming.
That looked similar to Rudy the other night. I don't know if you saw that highlight of Rudy shooting a 3 from the top. Just different result. Rudy didn't hit any rim.
Just a bit outside.
Just a bit outside.
All right, so Utah State will see UVU bring in a little bit of pressure. Blaze Neal, number 3, is at a path. Started at USU Eastern, then went to BYU, and then has played the last couple of years. You probably saw him a bit on the recruiting trail. Started his career at Lehigh. A little trouble getting the inbound. Steve Ashworth in the game for the first time tonight. Ashworth crossing the timeline, leaves it for Bairstow. Bairstow works right side, hands to Shulga. Shulga leaves it for Akin. Akin drives, nice bounce pass to Ashworth, but it's deflected away and stolen away. UVU forces the turnover. Blaze Nil quickly going the other way. UVU didn't force a lot of steals last year and turned over a lot, but again, this is a new team and they've already created a few turnovers early on. Fuller leaves it for Darthard. Darthard outside the three-point line, drives, cuts off. Shulga does a good job putting a hand in his face, leaves it back to Neal. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Work it to Harmon. Harmon crosses over, gets into the lane. Ball goes out of bounds, probably off the knee. Yes, of Bairstow with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Good job by Bairstow recovering defensively.
Yeah, got back in front of him. He was a step behind, but he recovered well and it got his body straight up.
Blaze Nil will inbound. Again, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Leaves it for Harmon. Harmon, baseline turnaround jumper, missed it. And a technical is going to go against UVU. A flopping technical against Justin Harmon. That'll send Stephen Ashworth to the line for his first point. The official wants none of that.
I love the concept of penalizing flopping.
You never did that back in the day, did you?
Never trust a flopper. I wasn't good enough to be able to focus on basketball and flop at the same time.
Ashworth rattles home his first free throw. And so Utah State takes the lead back 8-7. Taylor Funk will inbound. By the way, Taylor Funk not oblivious to playing heavy minutes. 36 minutes a game he played last year for St. Joe's. He's played in over 3,600 minutes in his career. Akin near the elbow, finally gives it low to Bairstow. Bairstow with his back to the basket, then spins, has a nice lane, lays it up in with the left hand. Holy smokes, Sean Bairstow. That was smooth.
Great 2-dribble drop step.
Blaze Nil leaves it left, wide open three is up and missed. Nice offensive rebound, put back and in. Number 35, Ethan Potter, the Layton High School grad, gets his first moments and gets the bucket. Was the 6'8 player of the year last year for Layton High School. Long three by Ashworth is missed. Akin tries to lie in for the rebound. Funk comes in for the rebound, and they're going to say he's out of bounds. It'll go back to UVU. 10-9, Utah State leads by 1 over UVU. 14:09 left here in the first half. And again, Liberal substituting as RJ Idlerock comes into the game. And Z Hamoda is going to come in for his first minutes of the season.
Yeah, given a lot of these guys experience, like you said, a lot deeper bench early in the season, but he's going to it in the first 6 minutes of the game.
Z Hamoda, who certainly showed flashes last year, Spencer, on what he's capable of doing. Aggies bringing the press once again, and Blaze Nil will bring the ball down the court. Ashworth's right on his back pocket, trying to harass him. The Lehigh grad is able to correct and reset the offense. Swing back to Potter. Potter outside the line. Leaves it back over to Neild. Neild, then cross court back to Darthard. Darthard cross court, works it to the right side. Back to Darthard. Back to Neild. Back to Darthard. Good defense, but Darthard's able to split. Leans into the lane, can't go, and Z Hamoda pulls down the rebound. 10-9, Utah State leads by 1. 13:36 left here in the first half. Z drives into lane. Z's got a lane, but then fouled on the way up. May have been bailed out a little bit on that call. As Z Hamoda draws the foul and will get 2 free throws.
Both teams, it's interesting when you see the action they're running. They're running weaves and then playing through their post man at the free throw line extended with a bunch of handoffs. And it's honestly watching very similar offenses on both ends of the court.
Z Hamoda only attempted 10 free throws last year with 6 of 10 from the line. First one is no good. He'll have one more coming up. 13:30 left, first half action. Checking back into the game will be Aziz Bandango, as he'll check in for Ethan Potter, who had a nice run, scored a putback bucket. Also into the game for UVU is Cam Alford. His first year, played at John Logan College last year. How about this, 46% from 3 from John Logan College.
Yeah, pretty good, great JUCO program.
Second free throw rattles home for Z Hamoda. He's 1 for 2 from line. Aggies on the line tonight, 2 for 3. Blaze Neild swings it to Darthard. Darthard will reset, center back up, leave it for Alford. Alford has Fuller come up to set a screen. Leaves it back to Neal. Neal back to Fuller. Fuller floater missed, and the fight for the rebound goes out of bounds. That's off Utah State. Yep. Taylor Funk said no, it wasn't, but yeah. Aggies nursing a 2-point lead. 13-10 left here in the first half. Frantic pace here early, too, it seems like.
Yeah, a lot of energy on opening night out of all these guys. Seen a lot of jumpers not hit the rim.
Bandango leaves it for Neal. Back to Darthard. Darthard then to Alford. Alford on the right wing. Gets a screen from Bandango. Wants to drive baseline. Leaves it left for Neal. Neal bypasses the three. Drives into the lane. Right-hand floater no good. And there is Taylor Funk ripping down an aggressive rebound. Outlets it quickly to Ashworth. Ashworth leaves it for Funk. Funk crossover dribble. He kisses it off the glass and gets it to go. Yes, more of that, please. Holy smokes. That's the way Spencer Nilsson used to do it back in the day.
Nice soft touch coming from his right.
13-9, 4-point lead for Utah State. Their largest. A foul is going to go against Akin, up against Bandango, 5 feet behind the three-point line. Not necessarily what you want to see.
Coach clapped his hands at the aggression. I think he wants him to be aggressive, but yeah, 35 feet from the hoop, not a great place to get a foul.
Cam Alford will inbound here on the near side. 12:33 left in the half. With Utah State leading by 4. Alford to Bandango to Fuller. So you're playing your two bigs out there at the same time. Neal comes, works right against Idle Rock, then retreats. Back to Darthard. Darthard will reset near the U-State logo at midcourt. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Alford drives. Alford penetrates, rises, fires, misses. And Taylor Funk pulls down another rebound. Outlets it to Ashworth. Ashworth leaves it back for Funk. Pump fakes the three. Drives into the lane. Right-hand floater. No good. Offensive foul. Good job by Tim Fuller selling and getting in position for the charge.
Yeah, he's sold it, and Funk tried to avoid the contact at the last minute, but there was just a little bit too much. I will say I'm impressed with Funk's hands. If you watch him, that ball on the rebound, he's going, and other guys are going for it, but he's got really good hands.
Aggies, that's their 4th turnover, first foul on Funk. 12:03 left. Utah State leads by 4, outshooting UVU 56% to 27%. And by the way, Woodbury back in the game. Leaves it for Bandango to Alford. Alford gets to the elbow, in trouble, has to get rid of it. Back to Neal. Neal drives, and another foul is going to go against Utah State on the drive. I assume that's on Utah State. He may not cast the same shadow as Stu Morrill, but when Ryan Odom gets in your way, it's tough to see what's going on out there. Timeout on the field, 13-9. Utah State leading UVU with 11:47 left in the half. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Left here in the first half, Utah State leading UVU 13-9. UVU has missed their last 4 shots. They're only 1 out of their last 10. There's a scoring drought of nearly 2.5 minutes, but Utah State hasn't been able to take advantage of it and get things going on the offensive side.
Yeah, Woodbury and their big man came out and scored some points, but then Woodbury picked up his second foul, went to the bench, and the guard line, you don't know if it's jitters or a little more, just testosterone in terms of just the excitement, but those guards, other than Woodbury, are having a hard time hitting the rim.
So with Utah State, led in scoring with Sean Bairstow with 4, Taylor Funk with 4, 2 of 3 from the field, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Aggies have assisted on 4 of their 5 made buckets, as UVU will have the ball with 20 seconds on the shot clock, trailing 13-9. Cam Alford will inbound on the far sideline. RJ Idle Rock stays in the game. Thing is, with Utah State, got a lot of guys with a lot of experience. There's a lot of mouths to feed that are going to want to get a lot of minutes, and it's going to be tough to figure out how to distribute those minutes.
That's how you get 8 or 9 guys playing in the first minute or 2.
Woodbury, the alley-oop to Bandango, gets the layup and draws the foul. And when you're 7 feet tall, if you're Woodbury, you just get it up near the rim and let the big man come down with it.
Yeah, and right now Utah State's gone with a little smaller lineup without Trevin in there. They don't quite have the rim protection.
Yeah.
And Big Boy was able to just go up and no one could contest it.
Bandango makes the free throw, cuts it to a 1-point game, and so Utah State, even with UVU's shooting, was unable to extend the lead and now lead by 1. Bairstow to Hamoda. Hamoda trying to drive. Hamoda, right-hand shot off the glass, no good. And the rebound ripped down by Blaze Neal. And you can tell this guy can alter shots in Bandango. Driving is Alford, lays it up and in, and a 5-0 run by UVU has now given the Wolverines the lead over Utah State, 14-13. Bairstow almost stepped into a three, gives it to Ashworth, then retreats, gives it back to Ashworth on the left wing, now working left baseline, trying to drive, spins, leaves it for Bairstow, takes the three, yes! Sean Bairstow buries the three. Struggled from beyond the three-point line last year, but showed a smooth stroke on that one.
That looks really good, Scotty.
Blaze Neal works to the right side, gets a screen from Fuller. Hoists the shot with the right hand, missed it, and the rebound ripped down by Ashworth. Ashworth swings it cross court to Bairstow. Bairstow trying to attack, sees Bandango, says nope, no thanks. Ashworth will take the floater and knocks it down from the elbow. So the Aggies answer with a 5-0 run of their own and push the lead back to 4, 18-14. Aggies shooting 58% from the field, including 2 of 3 from 3. Bandango's going to hoist another 3 straight away and banks it home. Holy smokes, he's 2 of 2 from 3. That one not quite as pretty as the first one, as he called glass and cuts the lead to 1, 18-17. Ashworth gets a nice screen, trying to find Akin, can't get it to him, so he retreats, leaves it back for Hamoda. 9:55 left in the first. Hamoda driving into the lane, and that'll be a blocking call, and is that against? Yes, it is. That'll go against Woodbury, and that will be number 3. That's the risk you take. Woodbury's over there pleading his case.
They're not going to take it back. Mark gambled with that one, and that cost him. It's going to cost him about 15 minutes of playing time. Woodbury's gone for the rest of the first half.
So Trey Woodbury, 6'4", 200-pound senior, big-time scorer for UVU, will have to sit for a long time. Aggies lead by 1, 18-17. Long 3, straight away, on the elbow is up and good. Shogun knocks it down. 21-17. Here comes Bandango outside the three-point line, leaves it for Harmon on the right wing. Harmon puts the foot on the gas, rides it into the lane, lays it up, won't go, but he does draw the foul, and he'll get 2 free throws. Shulga gets hit with a foul. That's his first of the night. 16 foul on Utah State. Shulga with 6 points, Bairstow with 7. Those are the 2 guys you wanted to see take the next step, Spencer, and I think we've seen that early.
Yeah, Max, effortless release and just very efficient, very little movement, a Sam Merrill type 3-point shot on both of those. And then Bairstow's been aggressive, and he had the courage to take 3. He wasn't very good last year from 3, but coming out, Steven set him up, and he took it, and he knocked it down. It's amazing what seeing the ball go through the hoop can do for you.
Darthard's going to check in as UVU will go a little smaller. Fuller checks out. Still Bandango out on the court. Second free throw coming up as the Aggies lead by 3. Free throw up, free throw good. As Justin Harmon, coming into this game last year, a 79% free throw shooter, goes 2 for 2. Rylan Jones swings it right. Hamoda, then cross court back to Rylan Jones, swinging the alley-oop, throws it down, big man! Sean Bairstow on the alley-oop! Oh, that was filthy! Aggies lead 23-19. You might see that highlight popping up once or twice. Darthard into the lane, retreats, leaves for Alford, rises, fires for 3. No good, and the rebound ripped down by Bairstow, who just threw down that filthy dunk. Bairstow running the point, cross court to Hamoda. Hamoda uses a screen, then crosses back over, lost the handle, has to retreat, gives it back to Rylan Jones on the left wing. Rylan gets the screen, Rylan into the lane, then decides against it, then back into the lane, leaves it for Akin, who is blocked at the rim and fouled at the rim. Aziz Bandango gets hit with the foul, and Akin's going to go line for a couple free throws. Tell you what, though, this Bandango, he is a problem at the rim.
Yeah, he met Rylan Jones. Rylan did a great job of getting his attention and then kicking it to Akin. And then, but he was able to get back on his feet and then retest and contest that shot.
Akin's first free throw is no good. Atkins struggled from the line last year, about a 68% free throw shooter.
2 fouls for Bandango. Once again, the 2 really important players for UVU going to have to sit on the bench for a while.
Here comes the second free throw. Dan Akin, second free throw, no good. Missed it, but pulls down his own rebound and then lost the handle. Still on the court, but controlled finally by UVU in fast break. Shot, miss, and an offensive foul. It'll go against Justin Harmon, crashing into the lane. 23-19, kind of a ragged start to this game, and that's kind of what you expect first game of the year.
Yeah, Rylan Jones ate a sandwich, had some chips. He was just standing there the entire time waiting for him to come to him. He read that play the entire way.
Heard that every time he drew a charge, his old man would give him a Snickers bar.
I can believe that.
And he's one of the best out there. Rylan Jones into the lane. Rylan leaves it for Akin. Akin fouled again, going up. This time they'll hit Tim Fuller with the foul, and Akin will have a chance to get a couple more free throws. 23-19, 8:22 left here in the first half. And again, a bit of a ragged first half, but Utah State still leads by 4, still matching their largest lead in this game.
Yeah, Rylan does a great job with what we call a search dribble. He comes off the pick and roll, and he's just searching and exploring where to go.
Kind of the Steve Nash kind of thing.
Exactly, keeping his dribble and doing a great job.
Akin misses another free throw. So 0 for 3 for Dan Akin. Again, last year, 68% free throw shooter at Cal Baptist. I know you can't relate to this, but sometimes when those free throws don't fall, it gets in your head a little bit.
You know, I almost missed a free throw once in my life.
And he missed the 4th one, too.
Uh-oh.
0 for 4. So the score still sits at 23-19. Justin Harmon hammering the dribble. Swings it cross court to Darther, then back up top, driving into the lane, spin, and Alford block. And Hamoda thought he got all ball, but the officials will disagree. And it'll send Alford to the line for a couple free throws.
It looked like he did get all ball, but his arm caught the head of Alford, and I think that's what the ref was calling was the head shot.
So Alford already on the day today. Actually, no. This is his first free throw attempt. First one is no good. Missed it. Again, coming out of John Logan College, averaged 10-3-2 last year. Started his career at Alabama A&M. Second free throw is up and knocks that one down. 23-20, 8:07 left here in the first half. Aggies just can't seem to pull away from UVU, and I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. And the thing is, this is the time you want to take advantage with their 2 best players on the bench.
Yeah, I was going to say, Madsen's just hoping they can stay within striking distance with those 2 guys on the bench.
Z Hamoda, as the Aggies are 8 minutes, will have a timeout on the next dead ball. Rylan gets to the elbow. Rylan attacking, has his pass deflected away out of bounds. It'll stay with Utah State. When we come back, Utah's team left here in the first half. Shulga lining up the first free throw, gets it to go. Earns him one more. Shulga on the season last year, 78% free throw shooter. Aggies lead 26-22, make it 27-22.
Good, they needed to make some free throws, struggling so far.
Akin 0 for 4 from the free throw line. The rest of Utah State 4 for 5. Justin Harmon gets a nice screen from Caesar, and an offensive foul on that screen. So nice, they hit him with a foul.
Yeah. He ran into it, and Shulga tripped up on his legs. You got to be shoulder width when you're setting those screens, and if you get your legs out too wide, the refs are going to call that on you, and that's what happened to Seymour.
So here comes Shulga inbounds to Rylan Jones. Jones crossing the timeline will be picked up at midcourt by McClanahan, leaves it to Funk. Funk then left to Rylan. Rylan Jones back to Shulga. Shulga to Bairstow. Bairstow on the right low block, trying to go to work against Harmon. Turnaround jumper, no good. Fight for the rebound, written down by Caesar. And here comes McClanahan quickly down the court, leaves it back to Harmon, who will slow things down. 5:34 left in the half. Utah State leads by 5, 27-22, but just can't extend that lead. Darthard swings across court back to Harmon. Harmon, hammer in the dribble, back to Caesar, then left to McClanahan. He'll rise, he'll fire for three, and airball it. Rebound plucked out of the air by Max Scholga. Scholga gets a screen, Scholga into the lane, shows again, turnaround jumper is up and no good, and just can't get it to go. Aggies have had a couple of good opportunities here and can't extend the lead. Harmon gets into lane, Harmon attack, blocked at the rim, ripped by Atkins. Scholga with the block, tipped out of bounds. On the deflection, it'll stay with Utah State. Scholga tries to help up Harmon. Harmon says, no, I'm not taking your help.
Don't want your help. Utah State's doing a great job of getting paint touches, of getting the ball into the key to get the defense to suck in and then kicking it out.
Bairstow working right to left, crosses the timeline, leaves it for Scholga. Scholga on the left wing, back to Bairstow. Bairstow trying to post up Harmon, has an advantage there, uses that body, puts a shot up and lost the handle on the way up. Wanted the foul, is not going to get it. And quickly, here comes UVU. Swings it right, back to number 3, Blaisnell. Swings it left, long three, missed. And the rebound pulled down by Akin. How about this? The only threes made tonight have been by the 7-footer for UVU. Bandango, Akin, two-handed dunk on the nice feed from Ryland Jones. Aggies lead by 7, 29-22. 4:21 left in the half. We'll take it. You're listening to Aggie basketball from Learfield. And the fouls really starting to pile up here for UVU. Into the game will come Ethan Potter.
And his mustache. I cannot resist the mustache.
Hey, for a true freshman, I mean, this kid's 18 years old.
He's
not a return missionary, is he? I don't think so.
There's no way I could have grown that.
He was the 2021 Mr. Basketball in the state of Utah. 6A MVP, averaged 25 and 12, as Layton finished third in 6A last year.
And he's more manly than I am with that mustache.
Ryland misses the first free throw. Will try to knock this one down and gets it to go. All right, so the Aggies break 30, lead by 8, 30-22. Aggies on the line tonight, not great, 5 of 11. Now again, 4 of those misses or Dan Akin, but again, that's a number that's got to be higher. Blaisnell outside the three-point line, trying to throw the alley-oop, and he does. Bandango into the game, and he rips down the rim. He's got double digits, 11 points on 4 of 4 shooting, including 2 of 2 from 3. This guy is going to cause some havoc in the Western Athletic Conference this year. Sean Bairstow in the lane. Bairstow rises over the top of Bandango, can't finish. Akin tries to keep it in play and cannot. 30-24, UVU with the ball, working left to right. Cam Alford comes around the screen, leaves it right, wide open three for Potter is missed. Fortunately, UVU unable to hit from 3, or this would be a very different game right now. Akin's going to check out. Trevin Dorius is going to check in. Dorius started the game, but has only played 4 minutes. Akin's already got 13 minutes out on the court. Let's see what Dorius does after a lengthy sit on the bench. 30-24, 6-point lead for Utah State. Sean Bairstow looking for Funk. Funk turnaround three, no good, off back of the iron, can't get it to go. And the rebound ripped down by Blaisnell. It's going to be an interesting 3-minute stretch. Can Utah State push this to double digits? Or is UVU going to tighten this thing up even more? Bandango leaves it for Alford. Alford comes around Bandango's screen, in the lane, attacking, and ripped out of the air by Scholga, but they're going to hit Scholga with the foul.
That was on Max Scholga.
You could tell those guards are trained coming off that pick and roll with Bandango to just try to get a little bit of space and then throw it up there. Trevin wasn't going to fall for it, and he stayed with Bandango, did a really good job.
So 2 free throws coming up for Alford. Alford on the night from the line is 1 for 2.
Shooting 2.
And trying to cut this Utah State lead, which was once an 8 in half. First free throw is good. 1 more coming up. You got to feel good if you're Mark Madsen, keeping this a single-digit game with your bulk scorer sitting on the bench.
Yeah, that's what he's telling his guys. Stay within striking distance. If they can go into this half down 5-6, that's a really good thing for UVU. Aggies want to get it to double digits.
So keep an eye on these last 250 here. These are going to be critical stretches here for Utah State. Bairstow fouled from behind, and they're going to give that to Alford. Officials with an itchy trigger finger tonight. And again, you can't be upset because it's gone both ways. But Bairstow's going to step to the line. His first free throw attempts. He's already in double digits with 11. He and Bandango both game highs with 11. Bairstow's got 2 free throws.
As a coach,
First one missed.
Those are the ones that just drive you crazy. No need for that foul. They're in the bonus. But, you know, Utah State's struggling from the line, so it's not going to cost them as much as it should.
Aggies 5 of 12 from the line. And Bairstow rattles it home. Used every part of the rim, but got to go. 31-26. Both teams have only made 1 out of their last 7 field goal attempts. Bandango leaves it for Neal. Swings it right. Potter tries to drive on the baseline. He's in trouble. Kiss off the glass by Potter has missed, and Funk pulls down the rebound. Leaves it back for Jones. Jones leads for Funk, trailing from behind. Thought about the 3. Down low to Bairstow. Bounce pass to Dorius. Lost the handle. Is able to recollect. Shot off the glass. No good. The putback up and in. Oh! How about Funk able to lay it up and in on the miss? Aggies lead by 7, 33-26.
I think Potter got a hand on that as well. He might deserve one of those points.
Alford driving baseline, has got positioning and lays it up and in over Ryland Jones. Just muscled up and is able to get past him and able to lay it up and in. 33-28, 5-point game, 1:53 left in the half. Stephen Ashworth, Price crossover dribble. Ashworth leaves it then back to Jones on the baseline. Jones up top to Bairstow. Bairstow still hammering, then finally gives it to Funk. Pump fakes the 3, leaves it for Ashworth. Ashworth against Blaze Neal, then to Funk. Funk trying to post up in the paint against Potter, against the freshman. Spins, shows, then gives it back to Bairstow. 4 seconds, he rises, fires, straightaway 3, good! Who says Sean Bairstow can't shoot the 3? He's 2 for 2 tonight. And the Aggies lead by 8 once again, 36-28. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Aggie basketball from Learfield. So, Aggies lead by 8, matching their largest lead, 36-28, $1:25 left in the half. Fun atmosphere. Students have been waiting for basketball for a long time, and they are out in full force tonight. Sean Bairstow goes to the student section and said, let's hear from you. Cam Alford trying to drive on Bairstow. Gets around him, attacks, reverse layup, missed, and nope, no foul. Ashworth pulls down the rebound. Thought I heard a whistle. Ashworth crossing the timeline, leaves it for Funk. Transition 3, no good off back of the iron. Z Hamoda rips down the offensive board. Haven't been a lot of those tonight for Utah State. Hamoda coming around the screen. He'll take the jumper from the elbow. Nestles it home, and there's your double-digit lead. Z Hamoda with the bucket, and the Aggies at 38-28. Made that look effortless.
Yeah, Utah State doing what they need to do in the final 2 minutes to get this to double digits.
Blaze Neal to Fuller. Down for Bandango against Dorius, and Dorius doesn't block the shot, but alters it. Bandango getting a taste of his own medicine. Funk, straightaway 3. Yes, sir! Taylor Funk strums the guitar as he goes down the court. It's rocking here in the Spectrum. 41-28, 26 seconds left. Aggies on an 8-0 run. Ball nearly stolen away. Oh, they're going to call a foul against Hamoda, trying to pick the pocket of Latrey Darthard. And Scholga on the base, kicks it back up top to Jones. Jones then hands back to Scholga. Scholga on the right wing, up top to Funk. Funk leads it for a trailing Ryland Jones, who recenters the offense, gives it to Scholga. Scholga near the free throw line, then retreats with 12 seconds, and the Aggies will reset. Ryland Jones, back to Bairstow, back to Jones. Jones on the right baseline. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, spins into the lane. Right hand kiss off the glass, gets it to go. Sometimes you just have to break a guy down and get a bucket.
Looked like he was playing church ball there.
43-28, obviously the largest lead for the Aggies, 15-point lead. Trey Woodbury to Caesar, straightaway 3 is good, and a first player not named Bandango knocks a 3 down for UBU. 43-31, 12-point lead for Utah State.
That was a good 5-4 screen. I don't think Utah State was expecting that.
Funk, who had 11 points in the first half, comes inside the 3-point line, gives up the dribble, hands to Jones. Jones to the elbow, back to Funk. Funk rises over Woodbury for 3. Leaves it a little long, and Justin Harmon pulls down the rebound. Nearly 2 minutes into the first half, Aggies lead by 12. Bandango who hit 2 threes from that spot, gives it left, and a long three is missed by Darthard. And Rylan Jones wastes little time bringing the ball down the court. Woodbury comes out to match him outside the three-point line. Gets a screen from Dorius. Jones kicks it back up to Shulga. Shulga driving into the lane. Shows with the right hand, then loses the handle, and the ball deflected away and stolen away. Woodbury driving in, leaves it down low. Caesar can't do anything with it, gives it to Bandango. Bandango at the free throw line, kicks it back up top to Woodbury. 20 seconds on the shot clock, Aggies lead by 12. Woodbury creating some space, takes the shot, misses it, and Funk does a good job of ripping down the rebound. Good job by Shulga getting a hand in his face as he shot it. Rylan Jones to the elbow, takes the jumper and can't get it to go. Aggies had some good looks and just not falling here early, Spencer.
Yeah, both teams actually playing out of the pick and roll and get good mid-range jumpers, but no one can hit it.
43-31. Aggies have led by as many as 15, lead by 12, with 17 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. Into the lane, deflected away as Justin Harmon gets into the lane, and they're going to call a foul on Utah State. That's going to go against Bairstow. Aggies are saying the ball was deflected away before the foul. No go.
They're going to give him 2 shots.
Yep, it'll be free throws coming up for UVU and Justin Harmon. Harmon 2 for 2 on his only trip in the first half from the line. Was a 78% free throw shooter last year. Trying to shoot right into that student section and makes the first one. Can't be easy to do as a shooter, right?
No, that student section's really fun in the second half. They don't have Kidda there anymore. They used to have Nemi with his long arms, but yeah, Harmon hits the first one.
Harmon's second free throw. 3 for 3 on the night. Let's see if he goes 4 for 4. And he does. And the once Aggie 15-point lead is down to 10. UVU not going away quietly into the night here tonight. Ashworth leaves it for Bairstow. Bairstow rotates right, gives to Shulga, who then comes left. Shulga looking for Ashworth. Ashworth fighting through Darthard, who's got a hand in his face. Comes around a screen, hoists a shot from just inside the three-point line. Won't go. Dorius tries to keep it in play, and he does. Goes off of Caesar.
Trevin does a great job of chasing the ball with both of his hands. Able to get a hand on that and hit it away from a UVU player and keep a possession for Utah State.
Aggies may have gotten away with one there. Ashworth finally gives it to Bairstow. Bairstow leaves it up top to Shulga. Pump fakes the three. Leaves it right for Funk. Funk takes the three and misses it. After hitting that big three near the end of the first half, Funk has missed his last 2. Woodbury tries to cross over. Shulga comes around a screen, creates some space with an elbow, and gets hit with the foul for the offensive foul. And folks, that's number 4 on Trey Woodbury, who puts his hands on his head and said, "You've got to be kidding me." And Madsen looks over at his coaching staff and said, "Nope, get him out of there. Cam Alford's coming in."
Yeah, that's, if you're a UVU fan, UVU coach, that is really unfortunate. Obviously for the Aggies, probably their most dynamic player on offense going to the bench, and he's going to be there for about 8 more minutes.
43-33. Utah State leads by 10. Ashworth driving into the lane. Gets to the baseline. Leaves it for Funk. Funk then tries to drive base. Cut off by Alford. Still hammering the dribble, though. Spins right, spins left, and the shot blocked away. Funk still has a behind-the-back pass to Dorius. Dorius leaves it back for Funk. Ashworth on a bad pass is able to collect back to Funk. Wide open for 3. Yes! There you go. Great hustle by a lot of players keeping that one alive.
That ball stayed in an 8-foot radius the entire possession. Not a lot of ball movement, but they came out lucky with a 3 by Funk.
46-33. Aggies lead by 13, matching a halftime lead. Largest lead has been 15 here in the second half. Latrey Darthard kicks it to Caesar. Caesar tries to drive on Funk. Tied up, no tie up. Kicks it back over to Alford. Aggies thought they had a tie ball. Driving is Alford, leaves it for Bendengo, who throws down the nasty dunk, and the rim continuing to still shake off that nasty dunk. 46-35. Ashworth really tripped up, leaves it for Bairstow. Bairstow on the right low block. Bairstow trying to spin in the lane, puts the kiss off the glass a little hard, and Bendengo's able to pull down the rebound. I think Bairstow thought Bendengo was going to come in and help, and he didn't. So back to an 11-point lead as UVU trying to get this back to single digits. Justin Harmon rises, takes the three, but an offensive foul before the shot is going to go against UVU. He made it too. 46-35. That brings us to our first media timeout here in the second half. Aggies up by 11. You're listening to Aggie basketball from Learfield. 11-point lead for Utah State. 15-15 left here in the ball game. Again, same as what we saw a little bit in the first half. Aggies been able to extend the lead out to 15, but not to 18, not to 20, as UVU keeps reeling them right back in.
Yeah, like we said, Utah State wanted to come out in that first 5 minutes and push it to 15, 16, 17 points. UVU hasn't made any progress, but Utah State hasn't been able to expand that lead. So if you're UVU, you feel fortunate, but you're trying to figure out how you're going to generate points with Woodbury on the bench.
Aggies 6 of 12 from the three-point line tonight, 50%, 44% from the field. UVU 32% from the field, 3 of 12 from three. Aggies on the court, Akin, Z. Hamoda, Max Shulga, Ashworth, and Taylor Funk.
You think about UVU, you've only got 3-point shots made from your 5 and your 4-man.
Yeah.
None of your guards.
Shulga leaves it for Ashworth. Ashworth kicks it right to Funk. Funk drives baseline. Kicks it down low to Akin. Akin lost the handle. And again, some turnovers in the paint, struggling for Utah State. Shot blocked by Hamoda on the way to the rim. Aggies in transition. Ashworth leaves it for Shulga. Shulga is fouled on the way up, and he will get free throws. Z. Hamoda showing off that athleticism, coming up and getting a block from Cam Alford, who is trying to get a bucket in transition, and the Aggies are going to get free throws on the other end.
And Max Shulga is going to be shooting them, which obviously is a good thing for the Aggies. They've struggled tonight, but Max has been able to hit.
Z. Hamoda has got 3 points, but also 2 rebounds and a block shot. Shulga makes the first free throw, makes it look easy too. 12-point lead, 47-35. Kind of nice when you have that calming influence at the free throw line. Looks like a Sam Merrill.
A lot of confidence. Speaking of Sam Merrill, we have to give him a shout out in Cleveland tonight. He told us he'd be listening to the game.
I was leading you into that. Hey, Sam.
I needed that. What's up, Sammy?
Justin Harmon outside the three-point line. Another foul away from the ball.
That was on the Aggies.
Taylor Funk picks it up. And that'll be number 2 for Taylor. 5 of 11 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. And UVU will inbound on the baseline. Aggies up 48-35, 13-point lead. Working the left side is Blaze Neal, former Utah State Eastern player, as well as a BYU for a year. Rotates right to Alford. Alford in the paint, leaves it down low for Fuller. His shot is missed, and Funk taps it to Z. Hamoda. Hamoda quickly down the court to Funk. Funk's got a 3. It's up. It's no good. Rebound fought for. 2 players down on the court, Fuller and Akin, but UVU is able to come away with the rebound. Harmon brings it outside the three-point line. Gets a nice screen. Still working the paint. He drives. His shot missed, and it's going to be a blocking foul against Utah State. And that will give Akin another foul. That'll be his 3rd of the night. Not the only Aggie in foul trouble. They've called a lot of fouls, but it's been distributed evenly. Akin the first one, again with 3. Justin Harmon with free throws coming up.
Coach is trying to figure out what that ref's name is so that he can start talking to him. I heard him say, "What's his name?"
Harmon misses his first free throw tonight. He's 4 of 5 from the line, but 0 of 6 from the field. Also has pulled down 7 rebounds. Funk closing in on a double-double. He's got 12 points and 9 rebounds and 2 assists. Second free throw is good. 1 for 2 on that trip, and it's back to a 12-point game, 48-36, as we reach the 14-minute mark. Ashworth picked up by Blaze Neal. Kicks it to Shulga. Shulga comes around a screen. Back to Ashworth. Ashworth drives, kick, Shulga. Shulga bounce pass in the post. Leaves it for Funk. Funk on the baseline. Swings it up top to Ashworth. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Ashworth kicks it over to Akin. Akin puts the shot up off the glass. Won't go. Another shot at the rim altered by Bandango.
You can see his presence even when they're catching the ball.
Fuller gets nice positioning, lays it up and in, and draws the foul. Fuller had Hamoda pinned down and was able to get the bucket and draw the foul. And with a free throw, can cut this to single digits. Bairstow's going to come in for Funk. Funk 2 of 7 from 3. Has had some good looks, just haven't fallen. And again, UVU just hanging in there. Fuller's first free throw attempt of the night and swishes it. RJ Idlerock's going to check into the game. Idlerock played 4 minutes. Did not take an attempt in the first half. And Bairstow inbounds to Ashworth. 13:20 left in the game. Still some uneasy fans here in Logan, with Utah State's lead down to 9. Akin lost the handle. Blaze Neal steals it away. Akin trying to get back on defense. Attack, layup, no good. Rebound, put down by Bandango, and he throws down the two-handed dunk. The big man running the court well, getting the offensive rebound and the putback, and it's a 7-point game, 48-41. Aggies have led by as many as 15 here in the second half, but UVU, minus their best player, and Trey Woodbury, just won't go away. Bairstow gets to the elbow. Bairstow puts the floater up with the right hand, nestles it home. Bairstow's got 17 on the night tonight, his first bucket here in the second half.
Another flopping.
Wow.
Wow.
And I did not see, it's a flopping technical against UVU, their second. I'm not exactly sure. Did you see who they gave that to?
So they gave it to Harmon when Sean lowered his shoulder a little bit and went into his chest. He fell back. That was a little surprised, but Aggies benefited from that call.
So now the lead is back to 10 after the bucket and the technical. So 51-41. Utah State's only made 2 out of their last 10 field goal attempts. Their shooting percentage, which is well over 50, is now down to 44% on the game. Fuller leaves it back to Harmon. Harmon trying to cross over Shulga, gets past him, attacks the rim, gets the bucket, and gets the foul. An and one opportunity for Justin Harmon, who gets past Shulga and is able to lay it up in. 51-43, 12:30 left in the game.
Not an easy shot by Harmon. I mean, right-handed on the left side, trying to reverse it up. Got a little lucky with the kiss off the glass.
Harmon went 1 for 2. That's his first field goal made of the game. He was 0 of 6 before that bucket. But he has lived at the free throw line tonight. And this free throw is up and missed it. Wow. 1 for 3 on his last 3 trip to the line. Aggies lead by 8. Floater in the lane by Ashworth, missed. Bandago pulls down the rebound. Ashworth tries to poke it away, but he outlets it quickly to Harmon. Over to Neild. Then to Alford. Alford on the right wing, up top to Bandango. It's 51-43, 8-point lead. Cross-court pass. Neild posts up Bandango against Akin. Will go to work. Tries to spin around him. Akin puts his arms up, off the glass, no good. Tipped the rebound, and there you go. His back-to-the-basket game may not be great.
No, he's a rim runner, and he's a pick-and-roller. That back-to-the-basket isn't what Madsen wants from him.
Trevin Dory is set to check in, I'm assuming, for Akin. Ashworth to Bairstow. Bairstow's got 17 on the night tonight. Spins, puts the floater up and good. Saw that Bandango wasn't in the paint and said, I'm going to take advantage of that. Aggies lead back up by 10, 53-43.
Yeah, that's a tough 2. Really tough 2, but Sean's making them tonight.
Bairstow with 19 on the night tonight. Forward to Neild. Neild back up top to Harmon. UVU has been great tonight, keeping this game close. Comes around the left side, tries to create some space, hands to Bandango, and then rotates right to Alford. Alford comes around that Bandango screen, into the lane, pump fakes, puts a shot up, no good, but draws the foul. And Alford's going to go to the line for a couple more free throws. Timeout on the field, or on the court, we'll take it, still in football mode. 53-43 is our score. Aggies lead by 10, but UVU will be shooting free throws when we come back. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. on to win the Big West. You know how difficult it can be to play at Long Beach State.
Oh, the Big West. What a great conference.
They beat BYU in that overtime classic 72-65. Then they went to Washington and just hammered the Huskies 68-52. They got a win in Las Cruces against New Mexico State. I mean, this is a team that's, I know that, you know, their big guy who's now at Texas Tech brought a lot of swagger to that team, but still, most of those players from last year's team are back, including, you know, Bandango, who's now certainly making his presence felt.
Yeah, they've got a good roster.
Both free throws by Alford are up and good. Ashworth crosses the timeline. Aggies with Akin and Dorius in the lineup at the same time, going big. Bearstos gets a screen from Dorius, drives, right-hand floater, left it way short, and UVU in transition going the other way. Alford driving, Alford off the glass, got it to go. It's a 6-point game, 53-47. Alford making his presence felt. Max Scholga, Rylan Jones is going to check in on the next dead ball. Scholga gets to the baseline, wide open, takes the jumper and knocks it down. Bandango decided not to chase him and concede the jumper, and Scholga's like, fine, I'll hit that, 55-47.
Great hesitation step back with Scholga, and he did it right in rhythm. Really nice shot on the baseline.
Forward to Alford, then back to Harmon. Harmon steps into a long three, no good. Offensive rebound by Fuller is up, no good. Bandango throws down the dunk over the top of Akin. 55-49. Bandango has been a man tonight, 17 points. Akin up top to Ashworth, straightaway three, no good. Bairstow pulls down the rebound, retreats, hands back to Ashworth. Ashworth then leaves it for Scholga, kicks it right to Akin. Akin nearly lost the handle, bad pass. Akin to Scholga, and the pass is intercepted and taken by Harmon and laid up and in. It's a 4-point game.
It's so hard to guard a turnover. They've had 2 or 3 in the last few minutes of those where UVU's just taken advantage of careless passes and gotten layups on the other end.
A 15-point lead in the second half is now down to 4. Ashworth takes the jumper inside the 3-point line and knocks it down. Aggies needed that one in a big way as UVU's made 5 out of their last 7 field goals. Lead back up by 6.
You got a hockey change coming up in terms of substitutions. Utah State needing to get a stop here.
Harmon launches the three, no good. Rebound, Akin comes away with it. Aggies not giving up the offensive rebound there. Ashworth crosses over against Blaze Neal, goes baseline, lost the handle, has to recollect, and then it's hit and fouled by Blaze Neal. That'll be the 4th team foul on UVU. With 8:58 into the game will come Hamoda, Funk, and Jones for Akin. And no, Akin's going to stay out there. Dorius will take a breather. And Bairstow will come out of the game. So your Aggies out on the court right now will be Akin, Rylan Jones, Funk, Hamoda, and Scholga. Nice bounce pass on the out-of-bounds play, and Hamoda can't get the layup. Poked away by Hamoda, still controlled by UVU. Driving, blocked at the rim by Akin. They're going to call a foul on Akin. 8:49 left in the game, 57-51. Free throws coming up.
That's number 4, I think, isn't it?
On Akin, yeah.
Yeah, he'll have to go to the bench. We'll see if Coach pulls him.
Darthard's going to go to the line for free throws. And Woodbury's going to check in. Darthard makes the free throw. So Woodbury is going to check in with 8:49 with 4 fouls, as the lead is 5 after the made free throw.
Let's see what Utah State comes out with, who Woodbury's guarding, and if they try to attack him quickly.
Second free throw, missed it off the back of the iron. Akin rips down the rebound. Outlets it quickly to Max Scholga. Aggies lead by 5, 57-52, led by 13 at the break. But UVU has kept this thing close. Scholga, step back jumper, hits it from just a foot behind the free throw line. 59-52, 7-point lead. Scholga's made it look just so smooth with that shot.
Effortless, he looks really good.
McClanahan into the game as well. He's trying to drive, leaves it right for Caesar, then up top to Woodbury. Pump fakes the three, steps back, launches the long three, misses it. Tipped around, controlled by Funk. He's got a double-double tonight. 12 points, 10 rebounds. 59-52, Aggies lead by 7. Rylan Jones goes baseline. Rylan underneath the bucket. Lost the handle. It's tipped away by UVU. It'll stay with Utah State. Rylan Jones inbounding under the Utah State bucket. Can't find anybody. Finally gives it to Shulga. Takes the three from the baseline. Rattles out. Rebound fought for, but ripped down by Caesar. And here comes UVU down by 7, 59-52. Woodbury wide open three. No good. Woo! Got away with one there. Ball poked away by UVU out of bounds. It'll stay with Utah State. You cannot leave Woodbury that wide open. He's a little cold, been sitting on that bench for a while.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you struggle in foul trouble. It's harder to get your rhythm back. He hopped into that. He didn't step into it, and it didn't look natural.
59-52, 7:51 left to go in the game. Aggies lead by 7 on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield.
To 5, Max Shulga taking it to 7. But UVU's still fighting, staying in it.
Yep, and Trey Woodbury out on the court, had 4 early points, but has dealt with foul trouble. Got 3 early, sat out the first half, then picked up a 4th early in the second half, and is now on the court playing with those 4 fouls. Here comes the zone. Hamoda up top to Funk. We have not seen this from UVU.
1-3-1.
Let's see how the Aggies handle it.
Yeah, the weakness is in the short corners on the opposite side. That's exactly where it is. That's the pass right there.
Rylan Jones trying to throw the alley-oop to Akin, who lays it up and in.
Short corner, opposite side against a 1-3-1. Very few guys can cover the baseline that well.
So Utah State leads by 9, 61-52. McClellan leaves it for Woodbury. Woodbury trying to drive. Woodbury off the glass, got it to go. There's the scorer that can do so much damage. Gets the bucket, cuts the lead back to 7, 61-54.
And Mark is yelling, get back in man. 5, 5, 5. He doesn't want to be in that 1-3-1. That's in a timeout. One of the assistant coaches comes up with the idea, hey, let's throw the 1-3-1 at him. And now the assistant coach is sitting there thinking, I shouldn't have done that.
Should have kept my mouth shut. Bandango back into the game. So the big guns out for UVU. Max Shulga with the Aggies leading by 7, 61-54. Gives it to Funk, who's posting up against Arthur. Gets to the elbow. Still driving. Spin, jumper, up, and good. Woo! That was pretty. Aggies back up by 9, 63-54. Aggie bench going over to the students, or to the crowd, saying, let's go, let's hear from you. 6:33 left to go in the game. Aggies lead by 9. Want to hear some noise. McClellan behind the line, gets past Rylan Jones, then dishes to Darthard. He attacks, and a late foul. What do we got? Offensive foul. Wow.
Rylan Jones takes a charge.
Surprise, surprise. Mark Madsen is beside himself. 63-54.
Do you think that's how he got the nickname Mad Dog?
Mad Dog ain't happy right now. He's not going to show off any dance moves either.
No.
Like that. Mark Madsen, 9 years in the NBA. Part of the 2001-2002 Laker NBA championship teams. Was assistant coach of the Lakers from 2013 to 2019.
And loved by all of his teammates.
Oh, yeah. Z Hamoda, pull-up jumper, looks a little long, it is. And the rebound pulled down by UVU. May not be the shot Utah State was looking for, trying to go back up by double digits, 63-54. Woodbury steps back, takes the baseline jumper, knocks it down. He's good.
Yeah, that once again is the mid-range. He hasn't shot it well from three-point range, but it's that mid-range game that he really likes.
63-56. You know he's going to be heated up. Aggies are going to need buckets here down the stretch. Max Shulga gets into the lane, pulls up, then steps back in, takes the floater, and won't go. Rebound fought for. Shulga's got it. Shulga's still hammering it, and it's a jump ball. It should be Utah State's ball on alternating possession. It is.
You know, with Woodbury with 4, he's guarding Funk. Funk has shown an ability to play in the post. I'd love to see an isolation where you go straight at Woodbury to see if he's going to back off so he doesn't get his 4th foul.
Interesting, Aggies not going with Bairstow down the stretch, who's got 19 points on the night tonight. Akin hands over to Ryland Jones, steps into a long three. Yes! Oh-ho! How great is that? Not for just this game, but the confidence of Ryland Jones.
That's a huge shot. Really good sign for the Aggies.
Aggies lead by 10, back to double digits. Now needing to get stops on the other end. Driving into the lane is Harmon, leads for Bandango, back to Woodbury. Woodbury comes around a screen. Caught up Z Hamoda right on his back pocket. Great defense. Aggies switch. Hamoda now on Harmon. Trying to drive, crossover dribble, Akin out of control, and they're going to let him play on. No foul on the play. Funk with the rebound. Funk with a bad pass, goes out of bounds. Trying to find Ashworth. Ashworth says, hey man, be cool. UVU gets the ball back down 10 with 4:46. Missed opportunity there by Utah State. Timeout on the court, Utah State. Let's go to break. Aggies lead by 10, 66-56 on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield. This one, Utah State still leading by 10, 66-56. Aggies have turned it over 10 times tonight. UVU only 7 times. Foul situation, UVU with 5 team fouls, Utah State with 7. So the Wolverines in the bonus. Aggies still a couple of fouls away from getting in the bonus. This is what you love about these in-state games, though. A lot of emotion.
A lot of competing. Madsen is fired up over there trying to get his guys to play really hard, and they are. They're staying in it. Utah State weathered the storm, you would say. I think UVU pulled within 4 at one point, and now they pushed it back to 10. Unfortunately, turned the ball over in transition there, but in a good place.
If nothing else, it would have been nice to hold on to that just to take 30 seconds off the clock.
Exactly.
All right, here we go. Trey Woodbury with the ball. The Wolverines down 10. Harmon works the right side of the court, leaves it for Woodbury. Woodbury gets in the lane, hits floater with the right hand, no good. Rebound ripped down by Ashworth. Now the Aggies can run a little time. Ashworth spins around Woodbury.
Chill out.
Yeah, don't tell Steven to slow down. He wants none of that. Finally retreats back to the logo and will set up the offense. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Nice screen from Akin. Ashworth throwing the alley-oop to Akin. Akin brings the ball down, pump fakes, attacks the rim and gets it up and in. Wanted the foul. That would have fouled out Bandango, but bucket is good enough. 68-56, 12-point game. Aggie showing a lot of resiliency here. Darthard on baseline, swings it up top to Bandango. Ball nearly tipped away by Ryland Jones. Ryland comes away with the steal. How about that? And his outlet is stolen away, but a foul is going to go against UVU, knocking down Ryland Jones. Jones got knocked down, and Ryland draws the foul. That's the 6th foul on UVU, and that brings us to our final media timeout. 68-56, Aggies lead by 12. 3:51 left in the game on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield. From Learfield, Aggies up by 12, 68-56. Spencer and I sharing way too many old Aggie stories with Ajay Salveson during the break.
Yeah, there were a lot of games that we almost lost in here.
All right, so here's the moment. Get a couple stops. You don't necessarily need to score, just don't have bad turnovers. No uncontested, layups. No unforced errors. And get out of here to W.
Yeah, you take care of the ball, you run the clock down, and you make your free throws. That's what it comes down to. Don't do anything stupid in terms of fouling three-point shooters or anything like that. Playing really solid basketball is what we want. I do think it's interesting when you look at the lineup that Coach went with, the 2 guards, Steven and Ryland. Obviously, there's a level of trust there that he has in them to finish the game.
Yeah. All right, Ryland Jones will inbound after a beautiful steal and drawing the foul. Next foul on UVU will put Utah State to the line. Ashworth leaves it for Hamoda. Hamoda waits for Akin to set a screen, but instead steps back behind the line, takes the shot, no good. A little early in the shot clock for that shot, and UVU comes away with it. 68-56, 12-point game. Sean Bears is going to check in, probably for Hamoda on the next dead ball. Justin Harmon leaves it for Woodbury. Woodbury tries to create some space, takes the shot, looks good, nope, no good. And Funk comes away with it. Stephen Ashworth crossing the timeline. We are at 3:12 left to go in the game. Akin sets a screen for Ashworth. Ashworth gets to the free throw line, leaves it for Ryland Jones, who just hit a monster 3. Ashworth rises for 3, and he buries the 3. Ryland Jones and Stephen Ashworth Big threes down the stretch, and the Aggies match their largest lead of 15, 71-56.
Big shot by Steven.
Woodbury trying to post up, takes the turnaround jumper and misses it. Hamoda puts a hand in his face. Taylor Funk with a rebound. Ashworth says, let's slow down.
Time. You want to take as much time as you can.
2:34 left in the game, 19 seconds on the shot clock. Ryland Jones gets a screen from Akin. Ryland gets to the elbow. He's it back for Ashworth, who retreats back to the midcourt logo with 10 seconds on the shot clock.
This is going up.
Ashworth launches. No good, just off the back of the iron. Funk tries to keep it in play, and he does. Tips it back to Ashworth. Aggies can reset things, and they're going to say that was a full possession and put 30 back on the shot clock. Ashworth at the midcourt logo. Aggies can run another 15 seconds, get it under 2 minutes. Z thought about the three, steps back, then will drive again. Hamoda, pump fake, spins, puts a shot, blocked away by Bandango. He's not going to let this thing go away quietly. 15-point lead for Utah State. 1:45 left in the game. And a drive and a foul is going to go against Utah State.
Foul is on the Aggies. Steven Ashworth.
And that will send Alford to the line. That's the 18th foul, so that'll be a 1-and-1 coming up for Alford. 1:44 left in the game. Aggies lead by 15. Hamoda checks out. Bairstow checks in. Shulga checks in for Steven Ashworth. Alford steps to the line. 1-and-1 coming up. First free throw, good. He earns one more. 71-57. Second free throw. Alford's second free throw rattles in. 2 for 2 from the line. And Ashworth just stood at the table and will come in for Akin to run the offense.
Get free throw shooters in there. See if they're going to foul or not.
For what it's worth, I thought it was going down too.
Yeah.
Here comes the full court press. Ashworth back to Jones. Jones swings it cross court to Shulga.
Yep.
And then back to Ashworth. And the Aggies can reset things. Instead, run the alley-oop to Funk, and Funk lays it up and in. Ashworth doesn't run any clock. He's got Funk on an alley-oop. He lays it up, and the Aggies back up by 15, 73-58. Aggies will call a timeout to get Akin in for defensive purposes. We'll take a 30. You're listening to Aggie basketball from Learfield. Largest lead of 15, 73-58, 1:28 left to go in the game. Don't want to say the car's parked in the driveway yet, but it's getting pretty doggone close.
Car's parked in the driveway, Scotty. I'm going to say it.
Wow. How about this? 26 seconds left in Provo. Idaho State leads BYU 55-53.
That's not surprising. I don't know if you know where Idaho State is. Pocatello, Idaho. They raise them right in Pocatello, and the Bengals showing up in Provo. And all Ag fans can be excited about that.
How much did Idaho State come knocking on your door? I got to imagine pretty heavily.
You want to know what? Ironically, they didn't until everyone else did, and then Herb Williams. If you remember Herbball.
Yep.
Called me up and I said, "Where you been, Herb?"
I got Larry having breakfast in the house right now. 73-58, 15-point lead. Buck 20 as Woodbury with the ball, leaves it for Harmon. Harmon tries to drive against Ashworth. Ashworth, though, staying with him. Tries to go baseline, kicks it back up top to Darthard. Takes the three, misses the three, and the Aggies with the rebound. Shulga with the rebound, has the ball knocked out of his hands, still able to collect. Leaves it for Ashworth, and Ashworth called timeout as the Aggies a little out of sorts. As Utah State just a minute 2 away from winning this game.
Yeah, when
we'll go ahead and keep it here.
You think about when he went to Utah State, they cut it, like I said, they cut it to 4 or 5. Ashworth hits the jumper, Shulga hits the jumper, and then they go small lineup, and Ryland and Steven kind of bring the tempo and make some shots. Give them a lot of credit.
Here's the thing, you've got Ryland Jones, this is his 4th season of playing college basketball. Steven Ashworth feels like he's been playing college basketball forever. Funk has played 3,600 minutes. This is like the 6th year for Akin. Shulga and Bairstow. Experience plays out very well in these types of situations, and you're seeing the experience on display by Utah State not getting rattled down the stretch.
Absolutely. When they cut it there, they didn't panic. They didn't try to do too much. that plus minus, you look at the plus minus, Funk plus 20, Ryland plus 14, Steven plus 14.
Here comes Ryland Jones inbounding as UVU probably going to try to foul. Lavin for Funk, no foul there, and the Aggies have their largest lead of 17. Ryland slips it to Funk, who lays it up and in on the out-of-bounds play. Woodbury hands over to Darthur, takes the three, but traveled before the three. Turnover, and the Aggies lead by 17. Utah State with the ball, looking to just run out the clock and go 1-0 on the season. UVU trying to challenge the inbound, finally to Ashworth. UVU will try to probably present a little pressure, getting it to midcourt, and then drop off. Yep. Ashworth at the midcourt logo, hands to Funk. Funk back to Ashworth. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Aggies contend. Ashworth takes the elbow jumper, miss it, gets his own rebound, pulls out, and only a 1 second differential. Aggies can run out the clock. And they need to reset the shot clock.
18 seconds on the shot clock.
Ashworth took the elbow jumper and did not graze iron, so they'll put 18 seconds on the shot clock with 28 seconds. I don't believe UVU should want to foul here, but Shulga leaves it to Ryland. Ryland dribbles out of the lane. He's content just to run clock here. Ryland gets to the baseline. Ryland will take the layup and miss it. And the rebound ripped down by the man of the night, Bandango, for UVU. He's going to be special. The straightaway three is up and no good. And that is, well, they never reset the shot clock. 8 seconds, 5 seconds, as Ashworth will dribble out the clock. 2, 1, and 0. Ashworth puts his hands up in the air to the student section. Said, how about that for a first win? Mark Madsen, Ryan Odom shake hands at midcourt. And Utah State gets the W, 75-58. It might be a 17-point game, Spencer, but it didn't feel like 17.
No, it didn't. UVU competed well, and I think that's a great first game for Utah State. They played a game that was close in number, tested some guys, but then ultimately they were able to pull away from UVU. So Utah State should feel really good about this win.
Utah State 75, UVU 58. Aggies get the W, and man, it was a fun one here. UVU is going to be a good team, folks. They're going to be a problem for a lot of teams this year in the WAC. Take a break, come back, we'll kick off your post-game show next. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield.